just a little bit about the foundation. Since 2006, the strategy of the foundation has been this partnership of KnowledgeWorks with the Institute for the Future in Palo Alto, California. And the Institute has actually developed this map for the foundation, with guidance from the foundation in terms of how the foundation sees their own work unfolding. And the foundation itself uses the map for internal strategy as well as a resource to them for helping, aiding the work of others in education to anticipate and prepare for change. Over the past 10 years, KnowledgeWorks has primarily focused on high school reform and college access. And given their use of the map to that work, the foundation, besides working in Ohio, also works in Texas, California, and Louisiana, primarily through the New Tech network of schools. Monica has contributed, she's a policy wonk, so to speak, and has contributed to many policy and research initiatives to reform education, including a University of Maryland effort to improve the quality of teaching through engagements in collaborative action research and conducting research herself at the New York University Institute for Education and Public Policy in supporting the development of New York City's small school initiative. Monica is also the founder, so she's an entrepreneur, of the National High School Alliance, a partnership with more than 40 organizations sharing a common commitment to promoting excellence, equity, and development of high school age youth. And along with that work that was conducted at the Institute for Educational Leadership, headquartered right here in Washington, D.C., Monica also worked with Pathways to College Network, the National Clearinghouse for School Reform, Theme High Schools, and a catalog of core research on secondary school reform, which was used to guide the comprehensive school reform funding stream. And that's actually when Monica and I became aware of each other and started admiring each other's work. So with that, I bring you Monica Martinez.
So Bernice and I probably started to know each other then around 2000. And she probably just got to know more about me in that bio than probably we care to know about each other, because we just kind of interact relatively socially and on a professional level. Bernice helped us tremendously with our 2006 map last year as we hosted different innovation convenings around the United States, looking to see what people were doing differently and to help us understand the map as well. So I appreciate the introduction. I appreciate the opportunity to always work with Bernice and the invitation from AEP to do this. I apologize about the maps not being here. If we want to storm the table, I have about 10 up here. But I do promise they will be here, and we also have them downloadable from our website. So, when you outsource to a distribution house, you don't get to control everything. So, I'm sure it'll be here at some point. The exciting thing about today is this is really the first time, you guys are really the first large group who is going to hear this 2020 forecast. It used to be called the 2006 Map of Future Forces Affecting Education. And we decided that didn't sound very futuristic, because it doesn't help us look forward. And we updated it with the Institute for the Future. Now we call it the 2020 forecast, so we can all look forward. So we just launched this in April. So truly, when Doug called me in February, we didn't even have the map finished. He was looking at the 2006. I have to keep correcting myself. Our forecast was not finished. So this is exciting to bring this to you all and to see your reactions. Now, I have to say, my conversation is less of a keynote and almost more of a teaching moment. So it's a long presentation because we're going to get deep into some things, okay? So I'll start us off a little softly, though, and wonder if we often think about what's 2020 going to look like. There's so many things we don't think about sometimes, and 2020 is not that far away, but we have a lot of assumptions about our daily lives that we carry into 2020. So when you think about 2020, will there be a GM? Will there be a Chrysler? Will we be using gas? Will we have climate change as predicted? Will we be at war? Will we be at 5 wars? Will we always be at war? Will there be nuclear bombs? Will there be school districts? Will there be schools? Will virtual schooling be 50% of our public schools? And will charter schools be 49% of our public schools? These are the things we have to start thinking about if we want to think about the future. Again, we are always operating in our own assumptions and our own current state. How many of us even think about our future in 10 to 12 years? Will you be married? Will you be married to the same person? Where will your kids be? Will you be in the same house? Will you be in the same job? Now, of course, I asked a couple of interns this yesterday who were interning here in DC at a policy think tank, and of course they thought they're 10 years out. And that's what you do when you're 20 years old. I stopped doing it after I think I hit 25. No, after 40, I certainly stopped doing that. So the point here really is just that that our brain is hardwired to look for confirmation of our existing hypothesis, and whether it's about the world working a certain way or whether about who we are as a good person. So then, this is what happens. The future arrives in unexpected ways, possibly relevant to this group. A New Yorker article. I'm cutting articles out of the newspaper while I still can. So, this is what happens when we don't think about the future and the unexpected ways it arrives. Now, at the same time, maybe it won't arrive in such an unexpected way, because maybe that's what this map can help. So, if you think about it, we've got a lot of people thinking about the future also. You hear predictions all the time. And so what Paul Sappho says, who works with the Institute for the Future, so he considers himself a futurist, is that the future often seems exactly like what the past was, or the immediate present, or some breathless fantasy about future in terms of how technology is going to take over the world and supersaturate every aspect of our lives. So when we talk about the future, it's easy to maybe start thinking about the direction of change, like this New Yorker cartoon. But also, we get the direction wrong. So a great example of that is in the 1980s, a lot of the kind of sci-fi, kind of fringe folks, started thinking about the internet, predicting the internet, and predicted the demise of books because of the internet.